Hi everyone, it's Sarah, the owner and creator of Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a returning viewer, I'm so glad that you're back. And if you're new, welcome. And I hope you enjoy. Feel free to subscribe below, by clicking the notification bell, you'll be notified when new videos are posted. So let's start with shop update, work in progress. So my shop update is work in progress again. So I'm going to be real upfront with you guys. I did not get a lot of knitting done on a lot of different projects this past week. I'm starting to knit more again though, so I'm really grateful for that. So I'll start with my really big project I'm doing here for myself with this cardigan that I'm making. It is using Multifarious Nature yarn, which is the yarn that I dye up. And the colorway is Scarlet, so it's a gorgeous red. It is I consider it a tonal. It's a tonal red. This is what it looks like caked up. I'm using multiple skeins at a time. So when I knit like 2 rows, and then I knit 2 rows with the next. So I'm alternating skeins. That way there's less likelihood for major color pooling, and definitely less likelihood of a division line where it'll look like 2 different sections of a shirt, right? So this is the All of the Lights cardigan, and it's by Locatelli. And this is the first pattern of hers that I've done. I admired her patterns for a long time, and I'm so grateful to finally be able to do one. So the pattern is absolutely beautiful. Blew it out again. There you go. So you can see there's just so much gorgeous cabling, lace work. It's just so beautiful. And it's kind of a cardigan coat, so I'm really excited about this. It's going to, she did it in like a speckled color. Kind of looks like it's speckled. But I wanted to do it in a tonal or semi-solid because I feel like you're really going to be able to see the details a lot more. So I actually made some progress, guys. So this is where I was last week. Whoop, where my little progress keeper is, my Multifarious Nature progress keeper. It's a one of a kind. And so I finished the right shoulder. That's what this area is here. And then this is the neck region. And then I am working on the left side now. So I'm making huge progress. Most of this was done throughout the week here, a little bit here and there each day. After work, I tried to get a little bit done each day, and this is where I'm at now. So this is, I'm showing this on the wrong side, of course, because this would be on my back. But you can see how this is kind of going to start for me here. It goes down the shoulder a little bit. So the portion that I just am working on is right here. This like region that goes right behind the neck. So that's what I'm working on currently. From what I gather, I'm still on the first page, so you can see how it's a very intricate pattern. It's very easy to understand. I haven't had any major issues with it so far. Again, I'm only on the neck. I've only just started it. It has a lot of charts that I go by the actual writing. I'm so grateful that she actually writes out the step-by-step rows, as well as putting it in charting, because I don't go by charting unless it's like for color work. I'm just not very well versed with like symbols and stuff for charting, so. Is what it is. But her directions are pretty easy to follow. And like I said, I understand that it's kind of done in sections. So it's like you do the like part of like the collar area, and then I think the next is going to be like the back. So I think it goes from the collar and then it works down the back, and it's supposed to be top down, I think. I'm pretty sure it's like a top down knitting, and I am pretty positive that it is seamless. So it must be something where you'll put like the arm, like the sleeve area on hold while you're working on the breast. I'm assuming that's what's going to happen because I like a lot of like seamless work. I've done a sweater where it was like all pieces. I'm pretty sure the one sweater, actually the very first sweater that I ever made, it was the lightweight raglan by Pearl Soho. Great pattern for a beginner sweater maker. It was an excellent pattern for learning, but it is done in pieces. So that being said, like you do the sleeves separately and then you attach them to the body. And it's a good experience because you learn how to do like kind of like a Kitchener stitch basically to make an invisible seam under your like armpit region and everything. And it worked really well. It did work really well. But I just really enjoy the fluidity of like going just continuously. So, you usually break for your sleeves and you put your sleeve stitches on hold, and then you'll put your cable needle in, or double pointed needles if that's what you choose. And then you just, go from there and you just keep working the sleeves down once you finish the body. I like the way that goes. I feel it's a lot easier because you're making the sleeve, but it's already attached, right? So you don't have to like make the sleeve and then attach it. I don't know. I guess that's my preference so far. I've really enjoyed working in the round continuously for most of the patterns I've done, and I keep gravitating towards it, so I can tell I definitely enjoy it. But I keep using my analog row counter, and this has been a huge lifesaver, guys, because basically it's a repeat. These little sections, if you haven't ever done any cabling, it's a repeat of so many rows, and then you do a certain type of like a cabling is what it is, a cable stitch, and you do that, and then you continue with the pattern. So you have to keep track of which row you're on, and to like keep track counting it is way too much. You could write it down if you want, of course, you could totally do that. Analog row counter, huge time saver, because as I go, I just move it to the next little circle. This repeat is like a 6-row repeat, so I just go down to the 6th one, and then when I start the next row, I just move it back to the 1st and start again and do the 1 through 6, 1 through 6, 1 through 6 until I'm done doing that repeat. So it's a huge time saver if you've never used an analog row counter before. I sell these in the shop. This is a Multifarious Nature. Let's see if I can get this. It's like blasted out. Sorry. The analog row counter is a Multifarious Nature product. I do have more of this exact one in the shop. It is the, I call it like the lavender analog row counter. So it has this beautiful glass beads here, and then it has a little rose. It's like an etched rose metal. I guess you could call it like a progress keeper. You can use it as a progress keeper. And then when you get above 10 rows, you use that to markate when you get into, your 20 rows, or I should even say 11 rows, 20 rows, 30 rows, so on and so forth. It goes up to 100 just using this one row counter with this little progress keeper. So super handy, and those are in the shop. And there's other styles too, but they have little metal numbers that indicate which row you're on. So the number precedes the row. So if you're here in this circle I'm pointing to right here, then you're in the 8th row. So it's really great. It's super easy when you just glance at it to tell where you're at. And huge lifesaver. So I highly recommend my analog row counters. And that's, again, multifariousnature.com. That's where you can find those. So, tell you guys, like I said, I did not knit that much this week. I haven't been in a while, and I'll get into more detail about that in the future. But I pretty much on my lunch breaks, I've been napping. I've been taking a nap on my lunch breaks. I've been exhausted. So I normally knit I usually knit during my lunch breaks, in the morning before I go to work, and then like after breakfast, and then at the end of the day. I usually knit during all those times. Which is how I'm able to get some progress, which is awesome. However, I have been very behind when it comes to knitting, just being able to knit. So I really focused on my cardigan this past week. I was really excited to work on that. So I worked on that a lot. But I feel awful about some of these projects because one in particular, I realized I don't think I've talked about it in like 4 weeks, which is just sad. It's really sad. So I don't like abandoning projects. That's why I normally only do 3 at a time. This project, I have not made a priority, which I really should make it a little bit more of a priority, but it's one that, again, is going to continuously be worked on, and it's that northeasterly. It's going to be more of a scarf versus a blanket, but it is a blanket pattern. It's by Shenanigans, and this is using Multifarious Nature yarn. This was my kind of way of doing a swatch sample for you guys, because I'm aware that some of these colors schemed up might be intimidating. You're not sure, oh, how will that look knit up? So I did some swatches that are going to be connected into one piece. So this is the Red Dragon Maple colorway. So you can see this is a variegated yarn. There are some purples, like almost a pinkish red, darker red, a really beautiful colorway. And then we have the caramel corn, good grief, caramel corn colorway. And this, so this one is merino, pretty sure it's the merino nylon blend. This one has a slight bit more of a halo, just a slight. This is that alpaca, superwash merino, and nylon blend. And that, again, is caramel corn. So you can see there's some browns running through here, golden yellows. Another variegated yarn. I clearly need more sleep. Anyway, next one is Gray Merle, which is a nice gray, lighter grays, dark grays, and then black kind of throughout, and white. And this is on my more rustic yarn, which is my 100% Peruvian Highland wool, which is what I have my scarlet colorway on right here. This is that Peruvian wool. So the Peruvian wool, because it's more rustic slightly, it gives it a softer look to the color, just because of the nature of the yarn. Where if you look at some of the other yarns, like this one, because it has the superfine alpaca and 60% superwash merino though. So this is mainly like superwash merino. It's a much richer, like dark color. And this is too superwash merino in there. So the colors are darker and more vivid. It's just the nature of that fiber and how it takes the color. So that is the northeasterly, and here is my poor electric blue raspberry that my goal was to actually put that into it, and I never got to it, guys. I will get to it. And this is the I'd say, I believe this is the 50-50, the 50% superwash merino and 50% silk. It has a beautiful sheen to it. It's very shiny looking. Super, super, super soft. So I will work on that project. I don't know if I'll work on it this week, but I will work on it. My sweater, my poor sweater, my pinewood sweater, guys. So I want to finish this so bad because it's only going to get warmer. And I want to make sure I can wear it because this is super rustic. This is using, wow, this is like such a mess. Get all tangled. This is using Plutalopi, which is Icelandic wool. So it's very warm, very warm. And it's going to be a wonderfully warm sweater. And I want to wear it so bad, but I have to make the sleeves still. And I have to finish the repeats. And I have like 4 more sections of repeats still to do. So I've got quite a bit to do. I would hope I'd be able to at least get this bottom part done. In a beautiful, perfect world, which we do not live in, but in a beautiful, perfect world, I would be able to get that done this week. On a really good week where I'm super productive with knitting, I probably would be able to get that done. I just don't want to make that promise because, yeah, I'm just starting to kind of get feeling better here, so I don't want to make promises that I can't keep. So I really would like to finish the bottom on that so I could start on the sleeves. That is my hope. That is my mini goal. If I could finish that this week, that would be awesome. Like, get to the sleeves. Not finish it, but get to the sleeves. That would be an awesome goal. So, and my poor Leander. I'm telling you, the Leander Shawl. This is the one that I have abandoned, basically, because I haven't worked on it, I think 4 weeks. I think it's been 4 weeks. Which is tragic. It's tragic. It's such a nice knit. And I might try to work on it in the evening. I've been working on it on my lunch breaks is when I used to work on it. Because it was perfect. Because you could easily stop anywhere. You could easily just keep knitting. And it wasn't a big issue. But, because I really enjoy it. I really enjoy knitting this pattern. I really do. I think the issue is the motivation to work on it because the sweater I really want to wear, my pinewood sweater. So I really want to wear that. So that is like really pushing me to try to finish it. And then, well, of course, the Northeasterly getting that knit up, that shows you the colorways knit. So I'm definitely motivated to get that done too. And then the cardigan, I'm really motivated because I want that to be done too. So this is a shawl, which I do wear shawls. I got this one. This is my, so I do wear them. But I'm just not overly motivated to work on this. So just constantly goes to the back burner. And I'm so sad about that because I had made some headway. Like it's getting much wider because this is where I started. It's really cute. It's a crescent shape. I guess that's what you call it, a crescent shaped shawl. So you start off at this itty bitty teeny weeny little end and then just gets wider and wider and wider. And then there's some lace work, which I totally screwed up, but that's okay. It's still fine. It's totally fine. With the rate that I'm working on the shawl, I'm not going to rip it back. I'm just going to let it be. And then you've got, this is the much wider part, and it's so wide, in fact, that I can't even show it fully pulled out because I'll pull the stitches out. So my progress keeper is where it was 2 weeks ago because I never worked on it. Never worked on this, or 4 weeks ago, whenever I had shown you guys this last. It probably was 4 weeks ago. It's terrible. It's terrible. but it's such a nice pattern. It's really nice. It creates this really beautiful texture. So I really want to, like, I really do want to work on it. I just feel like out of all my projects, I'm not highly motivated. Even though, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this would be a beautiful shawl for the springtime. Like if I have any spring weddings to go to or like anything like that, I feel like this would be such a pretty shawl. It does have alpaca in it, so it's going to be warm, but it's a shawl, so you can either wrap it around your neck to make yourself a lot warmer, you can throw it over your shoulders just to wear it like a coat, like a lightweight coat sweater. So I might try to work on that too. See, I've made so many promises. I want to work on this, I want to work on that, and I want to work on the northeasterly. I just want to work on everything. Oh dear. This is what happens. This is what happens when I have more than 3 patterns. There's just too much. Because I hate having something just sitting around and I'm not working on it. I really don't like that. It irritates me because it's just sitting there going, oh, it needs to be finished. It's just my personality. Like I want to finish it because it's a goal, right? To get done and then be able to use it. And if it's just sitting there in a pile mid-progress, that is stressful. It just, I want to work on it so bad. Anyway, I would try to work on it while I'm talking to you guys, but I don't think I could knit and talk to people. Well, I mean, I can. I mean, I do it with my husband. I go watch movies, and I'm knitting while I watch movies, but I guess it depends on what I'm knitting. That cardigan that I'm working on, All the Lights cardigan, that one is pretty intricate in the sense that I kind of have to pay attention to what I'm doing because I can mess it up easily, and I have. But it's like I mess it up in a couple stitches, I catch myself quickly, and I just go back and undo those stitches and then continue. So it's not a big deal. I haven't messed up to the point where I have to like rip back so many rows, and it's because I'm being very cautious because I know how detailed that pattern looks with all the different stitching, like the lace work and the different cabling work. And if I was to just mess that up royally, that would be such a pain because there'd be so much to rip back. So I don't want to do that and then do all that work. So I'll get there. I will get there. I don't know. Do you guys go through these kind of lulls where, do you guys ever do that? Do you start like way too many projects and it's like, well, darn it, I need to get all these, I need to get something done so I can finish it. So you do need to kind of like focus on one and just see it through. So this is in an earlier video. So by all means, if you've already seen this, just ignore me. But but I do finish objects. This is my Shake It Up shawl. This is the yarn advent calendar that I got for Christmas as my Christmas gift from my husband, and it's I decided to use the Shake It Up shawl as the pattern that I would use the yarn for. So the yarn is from the brand Chick That Knits, and the Shake It Up shawl is by Anna Joanna, and it's absolutely amazing pattern. Highly recommend that pattern. It was so much fun to do. It is designed for 3 colorways, and I just did it with 25. So each section, it varies. Like this is all very different from the way that the pattern, like the color work part of the pattern, I went rogue. So I mean, I didn't pay any attention to which color she was referring to in the pattern because I was just using one of the colorways from my advent calendar, and I just knit it up in the order from day 1 through day 25, which is on the edging. So it is super random, super fun and colorful and playful looking, and oh, it's so much fun to knit. So this, I wear this a lot in the morning. I don't really wear it out that much, I guess, because I just don't. But in the morning, this is so nice and warm, and I just wear it when I'm knitting and when I eat breakfast in the morning. Excuse me. It's kind of like my go-to. See, I should have taken a nap today. It's my kind of my go-to, like, little comfortable blanket, I guess you want to call it, for when I'm on the couch, just being cozy. So I do want to finish these projects, guys. I really do. I hate not being able to share a finished project with you guys, and I feel bad because I've been a bit off the past couple weeks. So I greatly appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. I definitely will be showing you finished objects in the semi-near future. Just bear with me, and we'll get there. So, wondering what you guys are up to, what's going on in your part of the world. Please share your comments below. I'd love to hear about it. Here in Zeeland, Michigan, it's slowly warming up a little bit. So it's actually kind of reminding me of spring. So we actually had a lot of snow out there about a week ago, and within past 2 days, it has melted quite a bit. There is grass, green grass. You can see green grass, and it's raining today, and it's not snowing. Like the past couple weeks, we just kept getting snow constantly, and we actually have rain. And I think it's in the low 40s, but it's in the 40s, so it's really nice out. I mean, chilly, but it feels more like spring. So it's getting there. It is getting there. So it'll be nice to eventually be able to sit outside again. It's one of my favorite places to knit, especially in the morning. Sunday mornings, I tend to, well, when it's warm outside, we have some deck furniture on our little deck out back, and one of my favorite things to do in the summertime is to get up reasonably early for the fact that it's a Sunday, and go outside before the sun really gets very high, and knit out on our deck and listen to the birds and the sun rising, and it's just so beautiful and peaceful, and I really, really enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to that again. That will be in the semi-near future, and getting a little taste of spring right now. That just makes me feel really good. So I'm looking forward to that. That's something that I so enjoy doing in the spring, summer. Oh, and in the early fall too. You know, it's still warm enough outside that, you know, you can be outside and not freeze to death. You don't need like a big warm coat, or right now you still kind of need a coat. It is definitely cold, but yeah, I'd love to hear what's going on with you guys. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying healthy, and I hope you're happy. And I hope you're doing something that brings you joy, something that is creative. It doesn't have to be knitting, but if you do enjoy knitting too, I'd love to hear what projects you're working on, and projects in general, anything that you're creating. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. I look forward to seeing you next weekend. Take care. Bye.